Hello and welcome to the rMetroidvania podcast. My name is Professor Q.
This is Caldrath from the rMetroidvania subreddit and Discord.
This is Master. I'm also from there.
And this week I thought that we could talk about some little nitty-gritty things about combat mechanics and also just fighting games and how the mechanics in them can relate to Metroidvanias. So this is Skullgirls second encore. I decided that we could use this game because it actually has a hitbox viewer. So as you can see, all the green hitboxes on my character, those are all the usually called hurt boxes. So where I can get hit, and then you can see red was where the actual hitboxes are for attacks.
Also, real quick, in case that Sarah is already on the stream, the pizza was canceled because Master's roommate was cleaning their kitchen. So I said hot boxes in the stream chat earlier today instead of hitboxes, and she was making fun of me.
It's very important.
So one of the first things I notice is when this character that you're playing is holding still, the hurt boxes are completely still, which is kind of a problem with more modern fighting games because they move a lot.
Well, you can see Peacock on the right, her hurt boxes are moving, but Fukia or whatever her name is, she's standing still. The only thing on her that's moving is her hair. And then oh, that's also Peacock. So Parasol doesn't move very much, or hurt boxes don't move very much. So the only other game that I've actually seen hitbox viewer for is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, that game with a mouthful of a name. And those generally had way less complex hitboxes. They generally had 3 hurt boxes and then a single hitbox. I also noticed that it's pretty different with the way the actual attacks are in this, where at least with say this character, the attacks have a lot more or a lot less active frames to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, one of the characters, Squiggly, that I was playing a little earlier when we were testing the sound test, has a few fire attacks that linger, and that's pretty common in fighting games. I think, what's his name, Dualism or whatever, in Street Fighter has his flamethrower ability that has kind of a similar effect.
Yeah.
So it's one of those balancing factors that you can add to your move. The lingering hitbox.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be an anti-air, I believe, and so that's why it has a much larger hitbox, and also it lingers a bit more.
Something else I'm noticing about this character is that her hurt box is actually much wider than the bottoms of her feet. And I wonder if that's... it sticks out as far as her hands do, even though her feet don't stick out that far. And I wonder if anybody's called shenanigans on that.
Yeah. It could just be an older version of the art had her using a wider stance, and they just never updated the hurt boxes.
That would make sense because they really look like they belong to a different stance, and then when she's moving, they're perfectly aligned.
Yeah, well, it's almost like she moves into that hitbox as soon as she starts moving.
Yeah. Also, this is a clone character, so Philia has pretty much the same art as her, but it has a different moveset. So it could be that it's based on that.
It'd be interesting to look at Philia and see how hers are done.
I wonder if... Oh.
So I don't know if anybody watching has ever looked at hitboxes on display before, but it's actually really fascinating. And this applies to almost every Metroidvania that has any kind of melee to it, I think.
Yeah, they would all have hitboxes and hurt boxes. So actually one thing that I wanted to discuss is, well, first of all, we should probably discuss what the different parts of an attack are. So I guess with the or actually you can change the speed of this so it becomes a little more obvious. So this is one of the slower attacks, so you have a startup and then an active part where like it actually has the attack hitting and then a recovery. So
It's
basically
interesting.
before you see the red is startup, and then when you see red is active, and then afterwards is recovery.
It actually has a fairly long recovery when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big differences between like let's say Mega Man versus Simon Belmont. Mega Man, when he fires, it's almost instant. You can move while you're firing, and obviously it's ranged or whatever. But Simon Belmont's whip is pretty strong, or pretty long range too. But the big thing in Castlevania is that startup time before he actually whips. You hit the button, and you have that half-second delay before your whip actually comes out. And it's something you have to learn how to compensate for while you're playing the game.
And also one thing that I'd like to point out is like this attack, if you compare where the red is to where the green is, this attack has a lot of area like where it's red and not green. So it's a much higher priority attack. So if somebody's like trying to poke at the same time you're using this poke, you're more likely to hit them without them hitting you back. So so this is an attack that would be unlikely to trade with the opposing attack. Whereas like this one, the red is inside of the green. So it would be likely to trade. And that's something that is generally fine. Trading is generally fine in a fighting game, but it's something you want to avoid in a Metroidvania because the penalty for getting hit is usually a lot higher than the bonus for hitting.
It's either going to cost you money or you're never going to get those hit points back.
Yeah.
So Same says that's a safe attack. I think that the official fighting term for that is disjointed hitbox, where it's not part of the character. Although it seems like you should.
Well, it's not completely disjointed because there is overlap with the character. It's just the hitbox, the hitbox is really far out there. I think for a completely disjointed one, it's like not even overlapping at all.
Now, real quick for Salmace's benefit, I think you're probably the best expert on actual fighting games here. I mean, I think Master and I can definitely give our opinions on the Metroidvania, applying this to Metroidvania design, but as far as technicals, Salmace just says you lose neutral. I guess that's...
Yeah, so neutral game is basically where both of the... Like, nobody's in hit stun, nobody's in block stun, and you're just poking at each other, fishing for a hit. And this attack lets you fish for a hit pretty safely.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the way the combo system works in this game is if you hit with a... well, let me change the blocking settings. If you hit with a light attack, then it chains into heavier attack. That first hit. So, yeah, so I can, so I can chain into heavier hits after I like fished for this.
That's part of... I mean, obviously every fighting game is going to have its mechanics, but that's a feature of Skullgirls specifically, I assume.
Yeah, well, it's actually fairly common in a lot of more recent fighters, where there's like attack chains. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has it, Guilty Gear has it, I think Blaze Blue had it as well. But yeah, there's a lot of them that do that, where you just like go from light to medium to heavy. Yeah. So, yeah, that is attack chaining. So that's getting into cancels, which is actually something that is important in some Metroidvania combat as well, where you can... So a cancel is generally where you can like, once you hit, you can stop the attack animation and then transition into something else. Usually you have to hit, and then you can switch the active or the recovery frames into something else, and then that allows you to do combos or just transition into something else. So like this character has a command throw. You can actually cancel into the command throw. But the way that throws generally work in fighting games is if they're in hit stun or block stun, then the throw can't connect. So she actually has a slower command throw, so you can do like cancel into that one if you time it better.
Usually the advantage of command or grabs is that they grab through blocks, is my experience with it anyway.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Metroidvania that has any grab attacks. Is there any that do? I don't even think Guacamelee does. How's it going, Metroidvania?
So I think I want to say there is, but I can't remember which one it is.
I mean, maybe the closest thing is Ori's bash ability, which obviously makes Ori the best of the Metroidvania games as far as combat is concerned, right, Master? Master's being quiet, so I'm giving him an entry. Guacamelee does have grabs. Okay. I'm trying to remember that. Man, it's been like 2 years since I played Guacamelee 2. It seems like it should have grabs.
Yeah, I still have to play Guacamelee 2.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so tying this back to Metroidvania is like, I was playing The Witch and the 66 Mushrooms, and that one, it actually kind of has the same thing as a lot of these fighting games have, where you can you have a launcher and then you can cancel into a jump. So like in this game, you can do a launcher and then follow it and then do a air combo. And in that game, you have like a sword move that you can cancel it into a super jump, and then you can do stuff in the air.
That's like character action game stuff.
Yeah.
Like Devil May Cry has a similar thing going on.
Right. So yeah, I think that. So a lot of games have the ability to cancel into dashes and rolls. So one thing that you could do in Metroidvania to increase the complexity of it is to have it so that different moves can cancel into different things, and then that gives you a reason to switch what attacks you're using, because maybe so let's say you have an attack that can cancel into a jump but can't cancel into dash, and you have an attack that can cancel into dash but can't cancel into jump. If you're fighting a boss that you have to reactively jump more often, then you'd want to use the one that you can cancel into jump against that boss, even if the two moves have the same properties otherwise. It's
also important that if you write these rules, that you don't make the character have a move set that makes it so they can't do their best stuff. Or, I'm sorry, that the enemy doesn't attack you in a manner that disallows you to use your character's kit. Especially in a single-player game, it's kind of frustrating when...
So we're talking about Ori 2 here?
Honestly, I don't remember that. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about the regular wave-based sections. But yes, a lot of the bosses are large creatures that, using your melee attacks, which are your only attacks that have infinite use without using magic, becomes a dubious thing to do, especially since I think all of the enemies have on-touch damage, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to start out in single-player mode because I couldn't figure out, I don't think you can do the hitbox viewer when you're in the online versus training mode. Do you want to go ahead and switch into the
yeah, we can do that.
One? All right.
Let me go ahead and switch my OBS real quick.
Okay.
I'll turn off window capture and turn on game capture.
All right, I'll go ahead and set up the lobby.
Let me just turn the volume up on the actual game here. Alright, I'm just going to close the stream so it stops playing music from that. Okay. So we thought it would be fun. So I've actually not loaded this game up before tonight, so Calderoth is probably going to body me.
Well, I haven't played this very much either.
Like, I know how to do the Hadouken move, and that's about the limit of my fighting game ability. I practice a little bit in Blaze Blue. I'm just going to go with the one superpower character, because that sounds better to me.
Well, since it's in training mode, it's not going to matter.
Oh, is it training mode?
Yeah.
Mm. Anyway, I like Squiggly. She's literally the only character I've spent any time with.
Alright. Yeah, I just figured I'd pick as many characters as possible in training mode so we can, like, demonstrate something different if we need to.
So, one thing I noticed about Squiggly immediately is that she's got this flame ability, which I guess can work as a trap if Calderoth was trying to approach. It seems kind of dubious though, because if you know, you had those rock paper scissors type situations in these fighting games. If Calderoth decides to jump instead or use an attack that's longer than my flame, it doesn't do me much good. So one thing I thought was cool about this character is if you do the Hadouken move, then he just uses his ranged attacks.
So this is the move that I like. I picked this character specifically because of this move.
Oh,
I talk about slow projectiles a lot, and I especially like them in fighting games because you can you can set up a lot of stuff by using them.
So I noticed. So this is actually something I wanted to see in training mode. Check out this move here. Doesn't it look like that should hit? Like right here.
It does. Man, if we had the hitbox viewer.
So I've heard this complaint in a lot of different games. I'm betting it's like, okay, so you have to hit him like in the center of that.
I think you have to hit with the actual dragon.
Yeah.
It like has the breath, and the breath doesn't hit, but the dragon does.
This move feels like a broken like Smash Brothers Melee move that just didn't get.
And then you also can't combo off of it because it knocks you back.
Yeah, like I'm right next to you.
I think it's like to like relieve pressure when somebody's like trying to get on you in the air. You just jump and then do that.
Right. Sure.
Or if you're like jumping in on somebody and you think they're gonna try to anti-air you, then you use that to avoid getting hit.
Sure. Sorry, I was just adjusting volumes real quick. Anyway, one of the complaints I heard about Dark Souls is that there are hitboxes that they're like, the hitboxes are unfair. This game is unfair. And I never really felt that way, but then they like show the video of the hitbox. I'm like, okay, I see that. I don't know if I would have noticed that while I was playing the game, you know, per se. But some people are really sensitive to distances. Most of this character's aerials seem really difficult to land.
Well, as long as you have one that can land.
There we go.
So you generally want to find at least one air to ground move and one air to air move. So like,
I don't know what that does.
I don't know. It might be a command grab. Try doing it right next to me.
I have no idea. No. Like you're like making weird sparklies, but those are the same color as the little orbs you throw at me. So
yeah, I think that's just like.
I think that might be you.
There.
Oh yeah, this character has the.
Get over it.
Yeah, the scorpion move is what I'm trying to think of. You know, with all the Castlevania games, I don't think that pulling enemies towards you is... Can you think of any... I don't think that happens in any of the 2D Castlevania games.
No.
I think it might happen in Lament of Innocence. So, Master, you're really quiet. Do you have any thoughts?
No.
No. It's like, why am I even here? Do you have any opinions about hitboxes and things that you could add?
Sometimes they can be very, very annoying, but I mean, their hitboxes are important, and sometimes it feels bad when your knowledge about a game's hitboxes like benefits you in a way that you wouldn't be able. Like, if a hitbox is misaligned or something and you're able to abuse that, it feels bad because you should be able to tell roughly where hitboxes are just from looking at like the character.
Is that always bad though? Is it bad in Dark Souls when you can swing through the wall and kill enemies that way?
Yeah.
Well, the reason you do that is because they're invincible during it. So like, this move has invincibility frames on startup. So it allows me to like just go through whatever you're doing.
Is it actual invincibility or is it super armor?
It's actual invincibility.
Koth says that it's bad when your opponent has hitbox advantages, but it's good when you have hitbox advantages.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing though. In fighting games, you have to balance the hitboxes for both sides. In a Metroidvania, you don't have to do that.
right. Okay, I guess this is my shield ability. Wait, what's going on here? That's weird. Okay, I guess that button doesn't do anything. I actually kind of like... I use hit enemies through walls all the time. Like, that is what I look for when I play a game, is how I can use the terrain to exploit the enemy's AI.
I mean, that's fun, but it's different when it's a PvP scenario.
Sure. Oh, yeah, of course.
When I think of PvP hitboxes, one of the first things I think of is when Overwatch released, and the character Roadhog has this hook, and I guess at launch, I think, the hitbox of the hook that he uses to grab you and pull you towards him is like twice the width of the actual hook. So he can just grab you around walls. It was very not pleasant.
Yeah, that would be a problem in PvP. Ichigetsu wants us to actually fight. Well, we can jump out of training mode and actually fight if you want. So this ability, I don't really see, like, as soon as I get this open, it's like, okay, please use your ranged attacks on me. I feel like this is a matchup ability.
Well, is there a way to... There might be a way to cancel out of it.
You can jump out of it, looks like, so maybe that's the trick.
Oh, yeah, so if you can jump out of it, usually jump is the counter to range attacks.
Anyway, I don't know what tier Squiggly is, but I kind of like her. She's got a kit that
I mean, we're probably bad enough at this game that tiers don't matter.
Sure, I get that. What I like about two of her moves, like this one right here, looks the same as this one. So if you close the gap to take advantage of my grab, then I can always change it up, trick the other person. I can see Squiggly being really difficult to learn.
All the characters are pretty complicated.
Do you want to return to lobby and put it on an actual kill mode?
We could do that. Yeah, just do a return to lobby and then we can... Oh wait, is there a way to change?
Yeah, we can always.
I think I have to make a new lobby.
Okay. No big deal. Yes, 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 yes. That's what Ichigetsu said. I actually watched the poker episode of JoJo again recently, and it's 2 episodes long, and it didn't need to be for what the point it makes, but I still love that episode. Those 2 episodes. It's one of those epitome of what makes JoJo entertaining episodes. It needs to be 2 episodes. Yeah, if you guys want to invade the lobby right now, I guess you guys could quickly get in there.
I said it was only 2 people.
Oh, okay.
And they're all private slots.
Alright, I'm gonna stick with Squiggly.
I'm just gonna... Let's just do one-on-one. Oh, wait, did you...
I picked 2.
You picked 2.
I picked 2.
Alright.
I'm gonna play Big Band because that seems like a good opposite of Squiggly.
Did you see the happy birthday thing?
I did not.
So apparently with Big Band during one of his supers, you can actually like play music. And there's a term called happy birthday where if you like hit them during their assist, then you can like combo both of them.
How do I switch in? There we go. Nope, that's just an assist. Oof. Clearly somebody has more experience with this, or is a super character. Although I haven't done hardly any damage at all. Q is cheating. I'm a terrible cheater if I get cheating.
You should stop bullying Brian.
Big Band, more like Dead Band. Alright, let's change characters. One-on-one.
Alright, one...
I should probably stick to the character I have some experience with.
I do actually know my character's moves, so that probably gives me an unfair advantage. I went through the, the training. This game actually has a really good training, tutorial.
I'd like to reiterate that this is the first time I've loaded this game up.
You should both just play as a random character.
Okay, we can do that next. Holy cow. See, in training mode, I'm like, he doesn't seem like he's comboing that much. I got a few on him, but nope. Okay, so let's talk about what happens if your boss is like this in a Metroidvania game. I don't even know how to do that. I'm just doing my Street Fighter moves, hoping that it does something. Whoops. Grabbed.
Now you're playing with power.
Yeah, I got hustled by Caldroth tonight.
Didn't I tell you I played a lot of fighting games? I haven't played this one that much.
Oh, I thought we were doing randoms.
Oh, it wouldn't let me change.
Okay.
You didn't select change character, you selected play again.
Oh.
It's the furry level.
Oh, why?
Okay, so this character has... Oops. I mean, besides... Yeah, see, my main fighting game, if you even call it that, is Smash Brothers, so I don't even know if that counts.
So what's the lore of this game?
So there's a skull that grants the wishes of a woman, and they specifically say woman, so I guess maybe you have to be a woman to touch it, but then there's 2 male characters, so I don't know. But anyway, if your heart is corrupt, then you become a Skullgirl. And apparently everybody here has failed. I only watched the intro. And then I guess you go to Hollywood and do fights because everything's directed apparently. Somehow I am doing better with this character random button mashing as I'm being comboed to death. Alright, randoms.
Random. Did it really just random me the same character?
Is it the same character or is that the...
Yes. I chose random and it picked the same character.
Oh boy. Well, maybe I'll have better luck with... Taunt is actually useful. How do you taunt? Why didn't I come in here with my skin on in the first place? She's just like, alright, just so you guys don't make fun of my outfit, this is me completely without skin.
I like the character better without the skin.
Okay. All I have to do is find a nice corner ability. Oh! Trapping only works for a little while before the person finds their way out of it and then shows off how much better they are. Ichigetsu says that the skeleton was not safe for work. Well, this character seems to have a decent counter move set. Oh, I figured out how to get out of the suit. Now, oh, stay out. This is great. This is great. I don't know how I did this, but this is amazing.
For armor too, like a lot of it.
I actually won like this. I'm gonna stay like this. Oh no, go back! Get out! How do I get out of the suit?
Gotta make sure you get back out.
Put me back out of the skin. I was doing so much better. No. Why would you even put your skin on when you're better without it? Okay, I think it was... Oh, that wasn't it. Supered. Okay. So what else can we talk about as far as designing your combat mechanics?
Let's see. So we talked about hitboxes. I guess we can talk about like option selects.
I apparently selected two characters. I didn't mean to do that. Option selects?
Yeah, so that's... Personally, I feel like that's something you try to avoid having in your game because it increases the complexity of the play without increasing the depth.
So, explain option selects.
It's where you have a single input that can have different outputs depending on the situation.
Okay, so like, what's an example of that?
The most like well-known example of an option select is in Street Fighter 4. So normally in Street Fighter there's a low throw mix-up where you can't counter getting thrown at the same time as blocking low, but it's kind of hard to discuss this while you're fighting.
This is why I'm engaging you. Although I have no idea how using my head's gonna be helpful here. I just lost my mind. How do I get my head to bite? Bite her! Bite! What are you doing with your ears? That's not doing anything.
So yeah,
catastrophe.
So in Street Fighter 4, you can press the it just wants to give me the same characters over and over again. So you press the light punch and light kick buttons at the same time to tech a throw. But if you do it and you're crouching and a throw doesn't happen, then you do a crouching light kick.
She has the voice of the weird shaman from Indivisible. It's amusing to me because I'm playing Indivisible with a co-op buddy of mine, hearing all of the voice actors for Indivisible in this game.
I didn't realize this game had voice acting.
So speaking of adding complexity without depth, I was looking at my wife playing Final Fantasy XIV and she has like 20 different skills on her skill bar. And I'm like, you don't need all of these. Like, take a look at home. Well, go ahead.
Well, the thing is, in that game you have cooldowns, so you
Sure.
wind up actually using all those.
But the only reason why you do is because of cooldowns. And also, why doesn't the skill just get replaced by a different skill when it's on cooldown? Like it's literally designed that way to make you push different buttons.
Yeah. I remember when I played World of Warcraft, I would put the buttons that were on cooldown. Like, I'd have that button, and then I'd have like hold shift, and then you do a different thing. So like when the ability is on cooldown, I just hold shift and I press the same button anyway.
I actually made it so I always made a macro so that when I pushed the button when I was targeting an ally, it would heal, and when I pushed the button, it was targeting an enemy, it would cast one of my damage spells. Because I didn't like having that many buttons. I'm like, I gotta get this down to 6 somehow. But, I mean, it seems to me like you don't really need all of those. But then you have this game that has, what, 6 buttons? Is that what the... Does this character just copy other characters?
Yeah.
Okay. Starting to get out of that. I do like how you get the punch ability.
This game seems like it's kind of hard to read.
It's very fast. We'll see how many times I can get away with this. Okay, she flew. Oof. Okay, so compared to other fighting games you played, Caldrive, how would you say this?
I mean, it seems like it's a pretty good game.
Speed-wise, I mean, though, like.
Oh, speed-wise, it's a pretty fast game, I'd say.
I found my cheat move, my noob move. Noob move versus a character you don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I shouldn't rely on it too much. Fighting games are something I've always wanted to get into, but never found the time to do, because as you know, they tend to be a little demanding as far as actually getting good at them. Whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that. I accidentally clicked no, and then it picked the same character. But yeah, fighting games take a lot of practice, and most people don't want to dedicate the time to that. With that in mind, there are some Metroidvania games out there that do require a decent amount of practice to really unlock the potential the game has. I think Valda's Story is a great example of this. Not only do you have kind of a complex fighting system with a number of moves that you can customize and get good at using, but on top of that, you also have a skill tree that lets you customize it even further. Okay, I honestly did not mean to pick this character again, but I do think that punch is funny.
I'm honestly cool with you picking whatever character you want at this point.
I actually don't have fun using the spam move over and over again. It's effective, so I do it. It's interesting that it starts you. It works like stocks, so you get to use the rest of your health from when you kill me. Then, because it looks like you started off this round with less health.
Yeah, you keep the same life bar when you win.
Interesting. So essentially, you're just fighting 3 life bars. Or whatever.
That's because you chose the same character for your double.
Oh, that makes sense.
I guess you could have chosen different characters.
Block stuff. She's just telling me to dodge!
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a scalpel.
Okay, now you're the weird snake lady. Okay, I have played this character once tonight. Open that lobby. Salmace wants to join. What do you think? You want to... Okay, you can't really back up in this game much. You can close the gap really well, but not back. Whoops. I seem to do the best with this character, and I don't know if it's just because it's a moveset that you're not used to dodging, or if I'm just better with this character. And I'm still probably gonna lose, but at least I feel like I'm sort of making it. Stand back. Poked.
I have no idea how this character is supposed to work.
I think that's probably my bigger advantage here. I think if I was playing against your main, this would be a different story. So what's the rules on blocking in this game? Is it infinite block, or does it have like a limit like BlazBlue does? Oof. See, when I'm in the corner, I don't do very well either.
You almost got me that time. Oh. I chose play again.
Oh.
An accident.
Yeah, it's all good. So how much more did you want to spend on this game?
I feel like we've kind of dried up the conversation on it. I was hoping to get a bit more out of it.
Do you want to try and match Salmace real quick? I can switch back to recording your stream. Salmace wants to challenge you.
I think I'd need for him to friend me on Steam. Or actually, I could put more slots in, and then you could invite him.
Yeah, that would work too. Yeah, he's on my friends list, so I can
gotta go make a new lobby.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just what is it? Start and select or whatever.
Wait, there.
Yeah, let's just finish this battle.
Yeah. All right.
You'll
Here,
probably.
I'll let you win this one.
Hey, I got my disjointed hitbox with this character. Although you're getting really close to me. Oh, you're just letting me win.
Well, no, this is all you.
I appreciate it, man. I was gonna say, I'm like, I'm not sure what your strategy is. I really like that skeleton mode thing. That's hilarious to me, and I really wish I could figure out how to do that. In fact, that actually motivates me to kind of learn that character. As far as, I don't know if that's the fastest way. Maybe poking's faster. Okay, so it's...
I'm trying to remember what... Oh, that's not it. Oh well, whatever.
You got a naughty for that one.
Check for other skeletons in her closet.
Now you're playing with
Alright.
Oh, gosh. Alright.
Alright. Create lobby.
Shoot me in. Are you ready, Salmace?
I'm gonna put 7... For some reason, you can only put 7 private slots, even though you can put 8 players.
Maybe it's because you're one of them. I don't know.
Alright, and then invite... So I'm going to invite you, Professor, and then hopefully you can invite Salmaze.
I think that's how it works, so let's do that. And then I'll invite Salmace. I don't know if you guys can see my friends list right now. If you can, welcome to all my friends, and I apologize for Oh, Salme's just joined. That works too.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
Set ready, Salme. So let me go ahead and get in Calderoth's screen here. So give me just a second to set that up.
Oh, I never stopped streaming.
That's good. That saves me the trouble of setting that back up again. Window capture. This should be it. All right, here we go. All right, let's see how well Salmes does against Calderoth's Fukua. Salmes is quite a bit further distance away from us, so it makes sense the ping would be lower.
Yeah.
This
well,
has
you're on
rollback.
the opposite coast from me.
That's true too. Salmes is in a different hemisphere, though. Let me turn the volume up just a little bit. All right. Now you're a little bit more evenly matched here, Calderoth. So I think Valda's Story is the only game... I mean, technically Guacamelee has similar brawling style mechanics. Knife Boy purports to have fighting game style mechanics. I would say that the depth on that game is... Well, let's just say it's easy to exploit enemies in that game, AI-wise.
Roger's character doesn't look fun to fight.
Well, we already saw that her hurt box is completely off. Unless she's actually moving, it's completely off from her character.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a glitch with the hurt box mode or if that's actually just how they are. There's that, so like the attack that aims up, he's been using it to hit people when they're like off to the side. It doesn't even look like it's connecting a lot of the time.
Yeah, we noticed that with the what's her bucket, Squiggly. She seemed to have some attacks that look like they hit a lot and then it didn't actually connect. Looks like wait, okay, so Calderoth is on the left. Looks like Salmes is pulling in a couple of characters this time.
So now we get to see some assists.
Yeah, I don't know how that... So, from a balance perspective, would you say one-on-one, or the power character is... Like, what do you think is the best... Do you think it's pretty balanced, or do you think that there is an optimal setup? It's really a shame that this game kind of blew up as far as its development goes, because it seems like the type of game where more characters is better just by the way the game is designed.
The assists seem to be important for the game.
He's actually not really using assists, he's using character switching,
Oh.
which keeps crossing me up.
Well, wait, what's the difference?
So when you do a assist, the same character stays on screen.
Uh,
So do you... I'm interested in seeing how the mechanics work as far as resetting the round goes. He's doing a whole lot better now that he's doing 2 characters, though. I guess that's the big thing, is you get the extra moveset to help out.
so it makes it harder. But I like how this dude just like comes off. He just comes onto the screen with a chair,
Yeah.
just whacks you.
So there's a new character called Annie, which is apparently a good noob character. Balancing a fighting game is a major challenge. I've heard that Skullgirls has fairly good balance overall.
All right.
Oh boy, that was close.
Yeah.
That was close. I'm impressed. So what do you think? We should maybe give Salmice 2 more and then... possibly move on to the randomizer, or what are we all thinking?
I think we should probably move on to the randomizer because we're not really getting that much conversation out of this anymore.
I think it's interesting to talk about. It's very technical.
Yeah.
I think being aware of what hitboxes are is knowing a little bit more about how the sausage is made that might be interesting in case you haven't studied that before. But I think we should give Salmace 2 more, at least.
All right.
Oh, I know you want more, Salmace. I know that feeling, Salmace. You want to win at least once. I get that. That's why I'm giving you 2 more, so you can have a couple of chances at that. Or why I'm suggesting 2 more. Not that I'm dictating the flow here or anything.
Somebody's just picking a random character.
No, I think he's picking who he think he might be able to take him out with. It's possible I picked the big arm character because that's how I was able to hit Kuldroth with the nun character.
Are all the matchups pretty balanced, or are some characters stronger than others in certain matchups?
There's usually a rock paper scissors type thing going on, like I don't remember what the usual fighting game. Kuldroth really pulled that out barely.
And that's why they have the... You could say that's why they have the character switching, so that you can counter everything.
Yeah, and I think that would help with balance in general. Like how it works in Smash Brothers is that you'll have your top tier character, but then you'll have the counter pick that works well against it. Although usually in Smash Brothers they have a character who's has no bad matchups because those games are never balanced.
22 identical Fire Emblem characters.
They really should just make a Fire Emblem Smash Brothers at this point.
Nobody would buy it.
I don't know. Fire Emblem's apparently pretty popular. The mobile app is huge. Oh,
I mean, yeah.
Salbase is getting so close. All right, Salbase, you got to do it this time. I should probably get my SNES ready. Oh, a ditto. Oh, not quite a ditto. Sometimes it takes a few tries, especially since Caldroth is playing the same character each time. That gives Salme somewhat of an advantage. Because he gets to learn Caldroth's moves while if Salme keeps switching it up. Stand user.
It's true, but if Salmaze doesn't know Salmaze's moves, that's less
True.
of a benefit.
But if Salme does have experience with both those characters, he can use that. He's learning Caldroth, or if he already knows his characters, then now he's learning Caldroth. Whereas Caldroth has less opportunity to learn Salme's.
I'm so confused by that upwards attack. So it damages in front and behind, but there's like a single frame where it's even doing that.
I like how the assist character just basically came in to start getting bodied. Oh, and Caldroth is not going to let it happen. Oh boy. Yeah, no, good.
Well, good games.
I should learn this game, I think. Let me get out of this lobby here. Alright, here we go. And I'll get the SNES emulator. Last time Salme's played was 3 years ago. That's about how long ago it's been since I played BlazBlue, which is probably the last fighting game I played, so I don't feel bad getting bodied by Caldroth, who has way more experience with fighting games than I do.
I feel bad watching Caldroth body people.
Yeah, you do this all the time on the game nights.
What do you mean?
You were like, yeah, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh gosh, I forgot to change my sound settings. I was playing with my kids, so I turned my volume up on my emulator. They like to play Super Metroid occasionally. I got them addicted. Alright, I'll turn this off here. Alright, now we're on the randomizer. I'm still in voice chat, right? Did I leave voice chat again?
I can still hear you.
Okay, perfect. One time after I closed the stream, I accidentally closed the voice chat as well, and then I was confused why nobody was talking. So the next game night is in 2 weeks, and actually we're still open for which game we should play. I suggested Last of Us. Let's play Last of Us, guys. Among Us. But apparently Master is very against that idea.
Not very against. When did I ever say it was very against the idea?
You said absolutely not, which I interpret as very against.
Okay. Maybe I am then.
It's like, I guess I can't deny this. So we are actually very close to beating this randomizer. In fact, what do we have? An hour and a half. If we play the whole time tonight, it's possible we might beat it tonight. Wouldn't that be exciting? Okay, do I already know what's on the other side of the door?
I don't like games where the whole point of it is to repeatedly lie to your friends.
I am very bad at lying, so I try to deceive without lying as much as possible, if that makes sense. Well, I think what you do is you try and get people to think you're lying, and then you always tell the truth, and then that ends up being to your advantage. Of course, that's giving away all my secrets.
How is that helpful in Among Us? You're just gonna get yourself booted off the island.
Gosh.
Yes, in all those games, everyone always thinks I'm lying no matter what. Which I don't think I haven't figured out how to turn that to my advantage.
Yeah, I have that problem sometimes too. Then there's the one time when I was like, the first time I was an imposter, I jumped into a vent, and came out of the vent right in front of somebody, and we got to the discussion, and he's like, I saw him come out of the vent in the medical. It's like, what do you have to say for yourself? And I'm like, I wasn't in medical. Like, I don't even know what to do with that situation. When you're caught red-handed. Also, the first time I played Among Us, the second time I was an imposter ever, I was with another character, and we had walked up on 2 different people. And I'm like, this is perfect. We can get a double kill. It'll be great. The other imposter and I. And so I walk over, and we both walk over to the other characters together. So it was like really obvious that this is what we're going to do. And I killed one, and then he just walks past the other guy. I'm like, what the... I'm like, I was robbed. I was robbed. So, was there an argument that we were going to talk about last week, or that we heard this week, that we wanted to talk about this week? Of lesser criticisms or criticisms that could be improved? Or I could just use the words bad criticisms. I feel like there was something that came up this week. Everybody's all quiet.
I don't remember.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Oh, we brought it up in our private chat, I think.
I can look back through there.
Okay, so I think you do not see treasure chests on the map in this version of the game. So we were talking about improvements to Super Metroid last time we played this, and whether or not things like not having markings where, like, what door is, or markings for doors and stuff on the map made Super Metroid inferior. Well, this game doesn't have, like, future Zelda games let you see where treasures are on the map. Isn't that kind of a correlative feature? Does that make Zelda better or worse? Everybody's so sleepy because we're starting an hour later than usual.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking through our chat. I was not really seeing anything.
I was also looking there.
We gotta delegate these so we don't both do them at the same time.
It's true. We're thrashing.
So what was the question again?
So my question was like last week we brought up the idea that Super Metroid is inferior to newer games, or you could say that Super Metroid is inferior to newer games because it lacks features like showing where doors are on the map. That are now modern features that that a Metroidvania should have.
So you could say that it's a worse game for not having those features, but I'm not sure that would be to the detriment enough that I would consider it inferior overall.
Even in, like, modern releases, there's a lot of variance in just, like, the amount of quality of life features they have. So, I mean, you know, an old game not having all those features, of course, is excusable. Because how these features evolve over time.
So you think the new game should definitely show doors on the map?
Well, no. I mean, it's probably better if they do.
I just think it's...
So
oh, go ahead.
what do you mean by doors on the map? Do you mean like showing that they're red and so you need missiles, or that they're green and need super missiles, or just like doors in general?
So interestingly, having the color-coded doors is something that Mark Brown criticized when he did his analysis of the Metroid series. Of course it's missiles. Why would it be anything other than missiles?
I'm using this door thing in particular just as an example of, like, any quality of life feature that's added to a game later.
Sure. And yeah, that... So I guess that's a question, is whether or not showing what the door is, does that harm the experience. Mark Brown's argument is that you don't have to pay attention to your environment because the game just keeps track of it for you, and that defeats the challenge of exploring in the first place.
Metroid Prime has different kinds of like cracked walls and things that it's not super obvious what you need to use on them unless you scan them or you just recognize exactly what they are.
Seems like that's something you could have as a difficulty setting.
That's true, but
Yeah.
why would you turn that off? I guess that's kind of a weird thing.
It's like, why would you set a game on hard mode?
Sure, but I mean, there's a difference between like, okay, this is obviously coming down to my personal opinion, but like convenience features that prevent me from having to get out a piece of paper are more likely, more likely to leave those on, in spite of the fact that I appreciate when a game requires me to actually write things down. I'm more likely to leave on features that do that for me because it saves me the trouble of getting up and getting a piece of paper. I mean, it sounds really lazy, but it doesn't, like, the only difference between the game keeping track of it and me keeping track of it is the person who does it.
I think that sometimes the act of keeping track of it can be something that the developers want you to experience. And having the ability to turn off some of these features that may make the game harder or more obtuse or whatever, but it's an intended feature and like part of the game's identity. Like, I wouldn't turn those off. I think having the choice to turn them off, if it's one of those things where everyone just turns it off, then you're kind of sacrificing the identity of your game.
I mean, if you put in the assist modes menu, I've noticed that a lot of people don't like using assist modes because it's cheating or whatever. Then you're more likely to have players that don't do it.
Right. There is also a difference between turning something on and turning something off.
Sure. So some may normally plays the game in the hardest difficulty because the game is normally designed with that experience in mind, then downgrade the difficulty for the other modes. That's an interesting point of view. I think it depends on the developer.
It's entirely dependent on the game and the balancing.
Whether or not they... It seems like I should have to light those candles, but it doesn't seem like it actually does anything. Like, it let me get in there. Maybe I have to kill all the enemies. I'm just making sure there's not a key in here or something. It's been a long time since I've played this game, clearly. By the way, I used to dislike Zelda A Link to the Past quite a bit, but playing it on the randomizer... I actually have gained a greater appreciation for this game.
Oh, I thought you would have disliked it more.
No, I mean, like, so I used to feel that the items in this game were... Oops. There we go. I figured it was you had to light the candles in both the rooms, which is actually really interesting. There's a few experimental factors in this game, and... the randomizer has taught me the value of the different items in this game that I wouldn't have otherwise noticed. Part of the problem is that the sword is such a dominant strategy in the base game that the items get pretty overshadowed, but if you're playing the randomizer and you don't have a sword, suddenly you can kind of get a feel for what those items are good for. Well, that was a lot of work for a map. I know there's one other treasure in this dungeon, and I'm hoping I got it. I can't remember if I have it or not. We'll just go kill the boss at this point, I think.
There is one room that looked like it was grayed out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, we're going into that room right now, so. I think we've cleared this dungeon, and it doesn't have any progress items, but that's okay. We need to get the, whatever this item is anyway. Get out of here. So I found out that Ganon's castle is a treasure trove. It has tons of different treasures in it. I think like 10 or 15 treasures. So if we're going to find the space jump anywhere, I'm going to bet... Oh, there's a treasure right there. We need to make sure we get that. How do we get to that? Let's try the door. Alright, we got to figure out how to get to that treasure, because I do not want to leave this place without it. So I need to go right... Let's see, what are we getting from this dungeon? I wish I could look at the world map to see whether or not we're getting a pendant or a... Oh, another thing I found out researching this game is that you need the... How come I did not go up to get that treasure? I'm really confused why I didn't complete this path. And it's a key. Wonderful. But at least now we know. So anyway, another thing that has affected my opinion on this is that randomly, so I bought Oracle of the Ages and Seasons for my 3DS when I was purchasing a couple of other games, including Gargoyle's Quest, which I reviewed this last week. I finished Gargoyle's Quest. I'm like, you know what the heck, I'll play Oracle of the Ages again. And Oracle of the Ages is a lot worse than I remember. I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion or not. I always liked Seasons more, but Oracle has a lot of just nonsense like that you have to do. Also, it's really interesting in A Link to the Past how I go through the boss door and I don't immediately run into the boss.
It is fun.
Alright, well, obviously...
There's actually multiple boss doors, too.
Yeah, that was the other thing I noticed. Oops, just now.
I like how Metroid games will sometimes do the thing where you enter a room and then you get to the end of the room and oh no, it's locked. And then you start to double back and that's when the enemy appears. Or, you know, when at least something happens. Just things not being present as soon as you enter a room. I mean, it's kind of more scripted, which isn't always a good thing, but it's interesting.
Oh yeah, I think that both... I feel like Zelda got less... what's the word I'm looking for? Surprising as the games went on. Alright, obviously I need to blow this up. We're just gonna do this because it's easier. Instead of trying to track it. And
Yeah,
it's just
in Metroid games you're doing the same thing in different games, but unless it's like the inevitable Ridley fight, it's not always, it doesn't feel the same. I guess things might feel more the same in Zelda games.
I think that Metroid has, like, all the way up through Fusion, subverted expectations with every game past the first game. And even the first game, I think, subverted expectations at least a little bit. Like, they had the fake Kraid as an example of an early attempt to surprise the player. We're going to be a Metroid for a little bit, just for the fun of it.
Nice.
I'm going to guess that we want that turned to red. I can't remember what boss this is. So, another thing I found out. So, somebody I like, Let's Player that I like, has recently started just the Zelda portion of it, not the combination between Metroid and Zelda randomizer. And I learned that you can sprinkle dust on these red... Oh, this guy. Why don't we...
Get magic out?
Yeah, the magic powder. You can sprinkle it onto those red enemies. They're actually called anti-fairies, and they'll turn into fairies. Ow. Guess I'll stand over here.
Fantoon's not looking so good.
Sick Fantoon. Remind me to stock up on red potions before we go anywhere else. If we have so much money, there's no reason not to do it this way.
Hey, oh man, you're gonna run out of money.
Yeah. I really don't know how this happened. Like, we haven't been doing this every week, so I don't have a pure memory of everything that we've done. That lightning is... Luckily, it's very, very strongly telegraphed. And I tried to charge my sword, but it didn't work out. Oh my gosh, I might actually die.
Don't do that.
Luckily, he's an idiot, and he gets out of his invulnerability pool instead of just sitting there shooting lightning at me.
But you could just stand on the side of the screen, and then it would be a infinite face-off.
Right, so maybe that's why he just got bored. He's like, we're not doing this all day. I need to hurry up and get the yellow sword. Really?
That is amazing. Okay,
Okay.
so you got all the pendants now, so you can go get the Master Sword.
Well, that's the other thing, is I need the book to get the Master Sword. Like, you can't read the stone to get it. Well, we'll try it real quick, just to proof of concept it, but...
There's
Also,
another dungeon you have to go to.
yeah, we have one other dungeon we can go to, so hopefully we'll find some progress there. By the way, remember that cave that we just stumbled across last week? I found out that's known as the Hype Cave in the community. Let's see, is there a shop in this area? I think there might be. I just don't remember what house it's in.
You can just go to the witch, which is like...
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a teleport spot there, so that's probably the easiest. But anyway, we'll try it real quick, but I'm pretty sure you need the book in order to complete the Master Sword quest. So yeah, the Hype Cave has like 5 treasures in it, so people get excited when they get to it, I guess. And I guess in streaming history... Oh, don't take my bombs. I need those. It ends up being a important place to go for progress. Get out of here. I don't hate those thieves as much when I'm like loaded. Okay. See, we can't read that. Oh, no, we can do it. All right, let's see what this actually is. Let's see if it is actually the yellow sword. That'd be cool. It's a shovel!
Is that useful?
We're Shovel Knight now.
It was the shovel in the stone.
That's hilarious. Dun 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 dun. That's
What does the shovel do?
It gets us one item, so it's basically like the mushroom in the sense that it's useful for one thing.
Wait, I mean that's
It's a
good. That's
reroll.
like perfectly neutral item. It's not a bad item.
No, I don't know. It's like an extra step. It's like a
Yeah, it's like you just got a chore.
right. It's
and
like
that's it.
it's like a mail-in rebate for an item. The Master Shovel. Yeah, it's a key gate. Here, let's stock up real quick. Does the blue potion refill both? Let's do that. We got the money. Why not?
Are you sure?
Oh, I guess that's true. I should probably confirm that that's what they do, but I'm going to get it anyway. It's the more expensive one, so I'm assuming it does both.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it must be more valuable.
Yeah. Just
Or it
get
could
more.
just be like they're selling it for more because it's a luxury item.
You don't like our red color potions? We'll get a blue one. It's the same as the red, but blue. There are people that would do that. My
Yeah,
gosh.
it was that like I Am Rich app that literally was just like a picture of a gem, but it costs like $100 or something like that.
I wonder how many people have actually fallen for that. There's a game on Steam called Every Sale I Drink a Glass of Water, and he just updates the game with him drinking a glass of water occasionally. Where's the shovel? I think the shovel is here. There we go.
I'd buy that game.
I think that we do it here. Let me double check. Let me look at the map before I start digging this whole field up.
Don't you like give the shovel to somebody?
No, you dig it up. Okay, so there's a flute spot. Yep, this is it. So this is normally where you dig up the ocarina. But obviously we got...
There aren't any user reviews for the game.
There aren't any?
Oh, has anyone bought that? Has anyone bought the game?
And it's missiles.
Oh no, it's no longer available on Steam, so maybe they deleted the reviews too.
Did they pull it? That's funny.
At the request of the publisher, the game is no longer on Steam.
Maybe he got waterlogged. He had another one where...
Bought so much that he almost died.
Look at the publisher's game list. Like, click on the publisher and see, because he has another game where he does another thing, like every sale I jump into the pool or something like that, or shave my beard. I don't know what it was.
There's nothing here.
Okay.
He must have taken down his games.
He gave in. Well, we've gotten a lot of missiles tonight. At least we're probably not going to run out during the mother brain fight when we get there. I've done this so many times that I like know the path up to the top so quickly now. Alright, Turtle Rock. If we can beat Turtle Rock, which I... Oh, no, we need to get something before we go to Turtle Rock. We can't beat Turtle Rock without the Ice Beam, and I know where the Ice Beam is because when I was trying to find progress between streams, I found it. So let's go do that first. And I may have to stop to watch a video on how to do this because there's a trick you have to pull off to do what I'm about to do.
I didn't realize there were Zelda tricks.
There's actually not Zelda. No, this is in the Super Metroid area, so it's a Super Metroid trick. I'm cheating. Yes, I am. So this game requires you to have knowledge or ability to do things like bomb jumping. I found out is actually part of the logic, so you cannot escape bomb jumping when you. Oh, I don't have the double. Or for some reason, I'm like, oh, I've got screw attack, so obviously I have space jump. I'm playing Metroid 2 on Saturdays, and well, last Saturday and this Saturday that'll be it, but. We have the space jump in that game now, so immediately I try. If I had space jump, then we could go get the speed booster, and then we could probably go kill Mother Brain as soon as we get the speed booster. Because I think that's the last upgrade we need in order to finish this game.
You know, a Super Metroid ROM hack might be interesting to stream, like a not randomizer ROM hack.
Sure.
After we're done with this.
And I am perfectly fine with one of you taking over the backup game.
Yeah, I could also continue Castlevania 64.
So
just keep going until you finally beat it.
Everybody in the chat, vote. What do you guys want? A Metroid ROM hack as the backup game, or Castlevania 64? It's actually good that we got those missiles because I actually didn't realize we don't have that many missiles. We have plenty of super missiles. In fact, I think... How many are in the game? I think there's 50. So I think we're only 5 away from having all of them, right?
Yes.
So Same says that we should do a Castlevania hack.
That was not one of the options.
I mentioned the Symphony of the Night randomizer, but somebody...
There's also the Bloodstained randomizer.
Somebody that wasn't too keen on that idea.
I'd rather do the Symphony one than the Bloodstained one.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I have to have my super miss bombs up. And I'm going to save state because this place can screw you up. And I don't
We could ask on the next... or we can just ask on Discord what people would prefer.
Okay. Save state. So I went through all the trouble of figuring out how to do this for the purposes of science because I didn't want to record it on stream or whatever. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, so you have to run into this room. So this room has an invisible wall. Oh, okay. Do I jump as I'm going through the door? Nope, that's not it. Maybe I can... Oh, wait. I can just do this now because I have the gravity suit. When I came in here the first time, I didn't have the gravity suit. All right, so I don't have to cheat anything. Anyway, there's the ice beam.
Or the ice rod.
Ice rod.
Those are completely different things.
That's true. I guess.
Are they? Are they really?
We still don't have the ice beam in this game. So I'm actually going to run back to our spaceship so I can refill our ammo. And also there's another treasure that we need. Oh, I actually have to use power bombs to get through this. Alright. Got the ice rod.
What does the ice rod do?
The boss at the end of the Turtle Rock requires you to have it in order to defeat him, so that is what it does. It freezes enemies. Like I was talking about, one of the things I didn't like about A Link to the Past is that a lot of the items seem kind of useless, and the ice rod is kind of on that list. It's like a not very useful item. Like, if you didn't have a sword, you'd be grateful you had it, but when you have a sword, it's kind of pointless because it's slow and it uses magic and is overall just not very interesting. There are a couple of other places we can bomb jump to, but I don't want to do that until we're done doing Turtle Rock. Before I get that desperate. I don't remember how...
Have either of you played Super Metroid? Many Super Metroid ROM hacks before?
I have not.
This is the only one I played. There are a couple that I'd like to review. Like one came out recently. I can't remember the name of it at this point, but I can look it up.
Some are definitely worthy of reviewing. You could say that they're their own games.
No, I agree. I mean, I reviewed AM2R, so it makes sense. Although I'm sure Nintendo's going to get mad at me if I keep doing that.
If you keep reviewing AM2R.
Technically, I'm on their nice guy list. Like, I have their media license or whatever you call it. You have to sign up for it. Not that it's a huge deal. It's only going to be a big deal when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, but they can't stop me from reviewing anything, so if they kick me off the list, fair use says I can do whatever I want, so...
So what does the list let you do?
It lets you gain access to like Nintendo events and things like that, or Nintendo news and things. It required me to put in some like personal information and stuff. I honestly haven't used it since I applied for it, so I don't know exactly what it's good for. But I'm in it.
You'll be
for
an
now.
inside informant for when Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Before they revoke it because they found that I reviewed AM2R. Alright, just to save time.
It might have been fine if you gave it a bad review.
I know, I like it more than Samus Returns. Somewhat controversial opinion, I have discovered.
It's interesting how people will prefer one or the other really strongly. It's like the similar observation I made with Ori 1 and Ori 2. Not that it's necessarily true, it's just something I've noticed from the few people I've talked to.
Yeah, I noticed that it's been more divisive. Generally speaking, I think Ori 2 is more favored. Like, if you look at that thread that was recently on the Reddit, I think that Ori 2 is definitely getting more, oh, this is way better than the original, you should stick with that or whatever. I'm going to get lost in here, and there's a couple of one-way passages. I think this is where we want to be. If I remember correctly, we bomb this, and we can go down that flower. And it's a missile. But, like I said, we actually do need missiles, so I think there might be another secret. Nope. But now we gotta deal with these chompers. And, of course, I got hit by one. I think that of all the enemies in the game, the flowers that chomp on you are the most annoying because of how long they take. What are you gonna say, Caldrath?
Oh, like, it didn't grab you. You literally just fell into it.
Well, once I got loose, the gravity just took over at that point. Oh, you're talking about... No, you're right. I did just fall into it. I never said I was good at games. I've never claimed that. I don't know if I want to go down yet. I think I want to go... I do want to go down. Okay. Yes.
Looking at the guide.
No, I'm not looking at the guide, actually. I just was looking at my map, which is sort of like a guide, right? But no, I've studied like where all the items are at this point. I was trying to land on the platform and I landed on... Oh, great. All right, so this is the part where we just get eaten by flowers over and over again. The funniest part is because we have the gravity suit, it's not even dealing that much damage to us.
It's like 2.
Yeah. All right, and then this is a heart piece.
4.
I thought this was something else. Maybe there's something behind it. Real quick. There it is. Okay. There it is, the cape. All right, now we can leave this place. And the cape...
What does that do?
The
Nothing
cape...
anymore.
Yeah. It lets us walk over spikes, so that's nice.
That one area where he like tanked all the spikes, that's what it's for.
Yes, you're correct. Which I think that level was the last place where that's really that relevant. Okay, now we just need to find our way back to Zelda. I'm just going to do this for completion's sake. I don't think there's any items in this area.
There's plenty of flowers to chomp on you.
I'm going to get through this room without getting hit. Just to show that I can. Shh. That, I did not mean to use a super bomb. But whatever, it's not like super bombs are used for much else. They're not really useful in combat. And down we go. We'll go through nowhere fair, because why not? Nope, I was going to get the... Nope. I was going to fall, that's what I was going to do. And I don't think that there's any other... I think that the only treasures we have left in Super Metroid are a possible... So we haven't been to the plasma gun room. I really want the charge shot. What's that?
Don't you need a space jump to get there?
Maybe. I think we might be able to do some shenanigans, maybe bomb jumping and stuff to get there. Which obviously I want to avoid if possible. But considering we can now defeat Turtle Rock and get into Ganon's castle, which is full of like 15 treasures, that seems more optimal. more in favor of our odds. So does anybody have any thoughts on what topics? I think that last week was really fun talking about arguments, and I think it'd be fun to do that again sometime. Does anybody have any thoughts or requests on topics we could talk about next week when it's Master's turn?
Some of it probably depends on the game that I choose.
Sure.
Or maybe the game that you choose depends on the topic.
Maybe. I have not made any decisions yet.
So Master likes to play games that he hates, so that's another another decision factor there. I think if I went through Meridia... No, I can't go through Meridia because I don't have the space jump yet.
I mean, I really liked Rain World.
Rain World was great.
Never continued my game, by the way.
You should. Although you probably should...
It's just...
You should probably beat La Milana 2 first.
Lots of stuff to do.
Probably should finish Finutopia first.
Yeah, Finutopia and then La Milana 2.
I try not to let myself come to the level of hate for games. I don't know. This week I played a game that I don't think is possible to beat. At least I'm pretty sure. So that kind of affects my overall opinion of it, but there are things I like about it. So I try not to hate.
I have no idea how close I am to beating Finutopia. I think I'm around like 50%ish completion right now.
I think I beat the game at 60%, so that's kind of meaningless. At least if you're counting the ending, if you're looking for the 100%, like there's a secret boss if you get 100%, then yes, you're 50% of the way there. But are you past the windmill section?
Yeah, I'm past there.
Okay.
And then I'm past the part after that.
Okay.
Yeah, I still need to beat it too. I think the problem is that I just don't want to dig out my Switch.
Well, now it's on Steam, so you could just pay the extra $20 and get it again, right?
Every mention I thought the boss in the part after the windmill part was kind of awful.
You didn't like that boss?
No.
I kind of like that boss. It's the first boss that's like a real, like, major challenge, I think, in my opinion. Alright, so we gotta light all of these candles while writing this thing. Oops, I meant to push up. So let's go ahead and get my sword out. So, did you know that the sword, or the rod that lets us push... So we want to do it as late as possible because we need to make sure none of the candles go out before we get to the door. So let's hurry. And we made it.
Yeah.
I should probably switch off of this weapon so I'm not wasting mana on accident. 2 treasures. What do we got? Okay, well, that'll make it easy to beat the level. A couple of keys. I think there are 4 treasures in this dungeon, including the big treasure, so let's make sure we get all of them.
I mean, the bosses in Phoenotopia aren't terrible, but I haven't particularly liked them.
They are Zelda-like style bosses where they're more about exploiting a weakness than they are about patterns. My observation, anyway. So I don't know if that affects it. Although, of course, Batbarian was the same way. How did you feel about Batbarian's bosses?
Some of them I feel like could have been tuned a bit more. But I mean, I like the bosses in Batbarian better.
Batbarian just has an interesting combat system in general. This is the part where I just get hit by... I think I have the red armor already. One of the things that strikes me about this game is just how much damage you take compared to like future Zelda games. Well, I don't want to spoil the final boss, but Salmace thought the last boss was underwhelming.
I think the final boss of this game is pretty obvious.
What did I give the combat score for Phoenotopia? I think I gave it a 4 out of 5, so... My general...
I beat Batbarian without dying. So I mean, I guess, so one of the bosses, I didn't realize for a while what their weakness actually was.
Whoops, I did not mean to go down. Or go up, I mean.
And it was like very specific. And if you didn't do that, you couldn't really kill the boss.
Oh, in Phoenotopia?
No, in Batbarian.
Oh, heart pieces are good. Although I think I have more than I need as far as this game goes. I gave the game a 5, but I think I gave the combat a 4. For Phoenotopia. In my opinion, Phoenotopia's strengths lie in its exploration and its immersive factors. And just the combination of everything, mostly, but...
I like its combat, even though, yeah, it's not the best. But, you know, it's different, it's kind of...
It's one of those games
I guess.
I think that the more time I spend with it, the more I'd like the combat. Oops. Okay, we got to...
I kind of don't like how ridiculous the, just how much stamina you have is. And, I did eventually get a thing to make stamina recharge faster. Thank goodness. That I needed that, like, after the first few hours of the game.
So in Batbarian, I definitely recommend, if you're willing to use assists at all, turning on the slow motion cursor thing. With Phoenotopia, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend turning it on right away, but it does have an assist for turning off stamina use when you use your baseball bat. And I think that that would help a lot of people like the combat more, I think.
Well, the annoying part is when you have a puzzle where you have to hit a switch repeatedly and then
You have to wait for the stamina, right?
you just have to sit there for 10 seconds to regain your stamina before you can continue solving the puzzle.
Anytime you have any kind of resource management and then you require that resource to solve puzzles, it has that issue. I was thinking about one of the so comparing AM2R and Samus Returns, which I just can't avoid doing. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. But during my stream on Saturday when we were playing Metroid 2, but I can talk about here because we're just talking about game design. So AM2R made it more like Zero Mission, where you have things like the speed booster and, you know, added powers from those games. And Samus Returns kind of replaces that with... Okay, we don't want to go in here because we don't have a key. Samus Returns replaces it with a magic meter type thing, like an energy meter, separate energy meter. First time in Metroid history that they've done something like that. And the use cases for it are interesting. I guess I gotta use another blue potion. And then right here, if we go to the light world, there's a treasure behind here. Let's see what it is. Oh. We just have to shoot him through the spot.
Yeah, I don't really like expendable magic meters.
So yeah, and so instead of the speed booster, they had a... I guess I have to whack those first. Instead of the speed booster, they have a time slowing power, which is interesting. But it uses the magic meter, and then like any missiles or anything like that you want to get, you have to go and refill your magic meter every time you fail the challenge. And that gets really tedious. Oh, look, the magic powder. I'm tempted to like fly back to town to check to see what's inside the well, but I want to finish the dungeon first.
Yeah, did I tell you guys about in the Masked Mage where there was this so there's like some like roots or something like that that you had to clear away, but you had to use magic to do it. And the only way you can get magic back in that game is by waiting. And I literally had to wait 10 minutes to refill my magic meter.
So Bookbound Brigade has a similar problem. I think I spent more time on my cell phone during my 18-hour playthrough of that game than I would... Definitely more than I would have liked to.
Makes you wonder if people even playtest these things.
See, one of the things about playtesters is they're often looking for bugs more than anything, and like, I don't know, you really... Main advice to developers, get demos out for your game as early as possible and get as much different opinions, or as many different opinions as you can. Wait a minute. Okay, so I want to go outside, but there's a treasure inside that I want to get first.
So when you went to the light world, there was a doorway there that you didn't go through.
Yeah, and that's because I wanted to come back here and get that treasure in the middle platform because when I progress that way, it's going to lead towards the boss.
Well, that's where the big chest is.
Yes. But there's that... You saw that treasure in the middle room, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get that first before I go outside, because once I go outside and start heading that direction, I'm not going to be able to... I'd have to backtrack into this dungeon anyway to get that treasure, and I want to make sure that treasure isn't something I want. Ultimately what I'm looking for. All right, you, I think, have the key. I have to kill all the enemies. So now that I have magic powder, I can fill up my health that way. Oops. Get back here. If I can actually aim it. Also, it gets rid of them to be a lot less annoying. I think the thing I hate most about these things is how they take away your magic. Why? Just die, you stupid. Alright, what were you saying, Master?
On the subject of magic meters, this reminds me of Dark Souls. You see, when I first played Dark Souls 1, I wasn't particularly a fan of how they limited each spell to a certain amount of uses. And then you'd have to be at a campfire to regain your uses. But then I played Dark Souls 3 and they had the whole Ashen Estus flask thing or whatever, the blueberry energy drink, and it was awful. Like they killed sorcery.
I went to all that trouble to get that treasure, and it was the compass.
And I played a bit of a Dark Souls 3 mod that like balanced it around having mana regeneration, and it was so much better. So much more fun.
Having mana regeneration instead. I think that should have at least been a feature considering how many weapons used it. I agree. That I like. Well, personally, I like the usage factor. It's like consumable items that you can build for.
It's like the equivalent of this is a bad comparison, I guess, but I'm gonna make it anyways. So with Dark Souls 2, with the like the soul level thing with the matchmaking, where the like your match made in PvP and summoning and stuff with people who are in a similar, who've used a similar amount of souls, or I guess collected a similar amount of souls. But if you're like a range character or something, you have to spend a lot of souls on ammo. So then you just inherently are less powerful than people in your same tier.
Yeah, that was the dynamic in Dark Souls 3 that could have been interesting, but I'm not sure it was balanced particularly well. And as Salme's pointed out, you also have to choose which Estus flasks you want, and that can create a... Oh, I didn't even look at what item we just got. What did we get? Oh, we got the level 4 sword.
Yeah.
I'm like talking... The most important thing in this game is opening treasures, and I'm totally just talking over it. All right, cool. We got the yellow sword now.
So the power increased, but it doesn't unlock anything.
So the magic really needs to be a lot more powerful if you're going to take away from putting your stats into things like vitality and vigor in order to increase your magic bar. I think Diablo 2 has the same problem. Like I was looking at people talking about the meta of Diablo 2. This was like years ago, but generally speaking, people don't put any points into energy to get more magic power. Instead, they just stock up on blue potions and use that and then spend their stats on health. Because in PvP, that's all you need, or that's the main thing you need, is being able to outlast your opponent. I'm not really sure which way is the best way to go here, because I've only looked at this briefly. Oops. We're just going to take that. Pull up quick. Oh, shoot. What was that? I'm not paying attention again.
It's a key.
Oh, was it a key? Okay. I was looking at something else when I opened that. We're going to save that key. Did we get the map? No, we did not. Let's go this way first. Sorry, I had that first part semi-memorized because I watched somebody else do it recently. Like that streamer I was talking about. Or not streamer, he's a Let's Player, so he just uploads it to YouTube. But I love these choices that you have no idea which one's the correct one, but then they just punish you anyway. Oh good, more money. I'm so glad that we made sure that we got this room. However, if I didn't get this room, I would have been forever curious what was back here, so it's better, I guess, that I get this now. And the only reason why I'm collecting this is because I want to make sure we have enough for the potions I'll need to cheese the remaining content. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? I don't know.
Of course it's worth it. I just thought of maybe a decent game night game.
What's that?
You ever played N++? I guess it was just called
Oh
N,
gosh,
but-
yeah, I played N++. Is that online?
So I know there's co-op, but I think it's only local co-op. So
Yeah, I
we'd
mean-
have to choose local co-op, or maybe it has the Steam. Yeah, it has remote play together.
Yeah, remote play together.
Be latency though.
Yeah, we played a lot of remote play together things since the pandemic, and it's not terribly reliable. Generally speaking, if you can play a game that actually has netcode.
I was just thinking about being greedy in games and dying to collect money, and that's kind of what the game's about.
So N++ is I think it was before, it was early Xbox Live Arcade, from what I remember. Obviously it's like a PC game now, or I think you could play it as a browser game way back in the day, but
Yeah, the original N was like early 2000s.
shoot, I wasn't listening close enough, and I couldn't tell if that door was permanently opening or. So we're gonna gamble and hope that this is right.
Yeah, so N++ is it's a level-based, momentum-based platformer, and your goal is to like dodge traps and stuff and get through the level on the screen, and also your life is on a time limit, but you increase the time by collecting gold.
I knew I was gonna mess that up. I want to say it was one of the earliest precision or what you might call a precision platformer. I want to say it predates even Super Meat Boy, but I can't remember how old it is.
I'd believe that. I think it's a really fun game. I should play more of it.
Yeah, the first time I played it was when it came out on Xbox Live Arcade, and my brother-in-law picked it up, and I cannot find the. There it is. I'm trying to get down here because I pushed that button too many times.
Yeah, it's nice because though the gold does something, but it's usually not like usually the levels are set up in a way so that there's more than enough gold. But you're tempted to get like extra dangerous bits of gold, and obviously you don't need them, but there's always that desire to just 100% the level and get all the gold. And they'll trick you into killing yourself all the time because you're greed.
Are these? Oh, you have to use the heart. I don't remember what the trick is to not get hit by it after you get these. Well, this is a gold mine. Whoops.
So you hold your sword out, and then that makes the shield go off to the side, and then you can go towards it.
Oh, is this it? I actually
So
really
you like face
Oops.
upward, and then yeah.
I actually had no idea that you could hold the shield sideways. Oof. Hold the shield side, or I didn't know it worked when it was sideways like that. Okay, so face downward. Huh. And it makes sense. I just never used it that way.
It's fun.
Did we get anything good out of that? We got a heart, and I think that was all that we got. Oh, is there a treasure out here if we do this? Let me save state to me before it like saves me off a cliff or something. I don't want to accidentally. So going back to things I didn't like about Link to the Past, they have a lot of those tricked you moments that just drove me crazy. All right, let's see what's in here.
So unfair difficulty.
Yeah. I think this is just the regular cave that we've been in before. Oh, it's got fairies.
Oh, not to keep talking about N++, but I'm gonna keep talking about N++.
Sure.
Just it has a ton of levels, like literally has thousands of levels, and they're like they're good levels.
My only problem with that is that I get a little fatigued with how many levels it can have.
It's not like you're incentivized to complete every single one of them. Of course, they're replayable because you can make life harder by trying to speedrun it or collect all the gold.
Sure. We're just gonna do this to get this thing out of the way. Oop. Come on. There we go. So after I figured out how to do this, now I have to learn how to actually pull it off without getting hit by them.
So I think if you use the Quake magic, it does the same thing as the magic powder.
Yes. It's like an AoE quake. Of course, it costs a lot of mana to do that.
Why do you need to convert the evil fairies?
Get rid of them.
So you can eat them.
Yeah. I like that comic where Link just bites the head off the fairy. And now I don't have my easy range attack, which makes me sad.
What's the accepted lore for what you're doing to fairies to heal yourself?
I think they just fly around you in like Breath of the Wild.
And then you eat them.
I think they're supposed to be like sprinkling mad fairy dust on you or something.
But every other way to gain health in that game is through eating.
In Breath of the Wild.
Are you eating hearts?
So you can use fairies and recipes, and the fairy like helps you with the recipe is what it does in the animation.
That's censorship.
The truth is out there. I think we've gotten all the treasures in this level. And I think most of them were lame, but that's pretty par for the course.
Oh, let's see. I think you got 2 heart containers and the sword.
The sword's nice. And I don't know, the magic bag doesn't technically count as in the dungeon. So this is the boss that you need both the rods for, because if you don't have it, you can't hit the red skull. Get back here.
When did the fairy queen start being terrifying?
Alright, he's dead. And now we have to use a blue potion to get my mana back.
It seemed like you were just supposed to hit him once and then use your sword.
That might have been the case.
But why not? Why do that when you can just throw money at the problem?
Yeah, whoops. Which, frankly, there's nothing wrong with doing that with our... Alright, he's dead. Anyway, you can't kill this boss unless you have the ice rod. And I think he just turns into, like, the earlier boss where you have to hit him in the... I think the middle of his body? No? Maybe it's his head? No, it's the middle of his body. These last phases are always kind of like... We need the boss to be slightly longer. Like, they never really add anything to the
And then
fight.
you had the level 4 sword, so it's just like a complete pushover.
Alright, well.
Yeah, missiles!
More missiles.
And then you have games like La Mulana, where you'll have a boss just give you the middle finger for their last phase.
Yeah.
So Same's just brought up the fairy queens in Breath of the Wild and how they do weird things to you instead of them helping you or whatever. So maybe that's what the fairies are doing? The regular fairies, giving you kisses?
Is that the weird thing that they do?
Well, they do pull you into the fountain with them.
Oh god.
So we don't know what else happens down there.
What happens in the fountain stays in the fountain.
Stays in that fountain.
I actually completely forgot about this part of the game.
It's always funny how you always forget like the late game. I don't know if it's a little suggestive. Suggestive suggests that there might be other interpretations.
Not suggesting anything. It's just outright telling you.
Actually, I need to kill these skeletons in case one of them gives me a key. Can't ignore enemies because they may be carrying. Okay. Oh, let's play some whack-a-mole. Oh, I recently found out you can dash and use your hammer, which is funny to me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know if this is an intended mechanic or not, but it's funny.
How do you do that?
You just push both the buttons at the same time. I pulled it off twice perfectly. There we go. Yeah, there's a key.
Just convert all your forward momentum into your downward swing of the hammer.
Yeah. I like how I just barely missed the shot there. We'll go up first. Why not?
I had an idea for a Metroidvania upgrade where it converts your falling momentum into horizontal movement.
So a grappling hook?
No, like a shine spark, but you charge the shine spark by jumping off a cliff.
Well, we're definitely getting a lot of missiles tonight. Okay, any keys
You gotta
in
get
here?
some missiles to get some non-missiles.
It's true.
For every missile you find, that's one less missile you'll find elsewhere.
We're gonna be able to beat Ganon soon. Alright, so let's check out this key door. We have 2 keys, so I don't feel too terrible. Okay, treasure's in here, so that's good. And can we do this
Gotta
without...
get that compass.
Gosh. Well, you know what? I take missiles over a compass, since the compass is basically useless in this game. And we'll use a bomb.
How soon do you think we'll beat this randomizer?
I think that it's possible we could do it tonight. I mean, we got 30 minutes, so if we want to take the whole time, I mean.
I mean, you might be able to beat Zelda, but I don't think you have the stuff to beat Metroid.
Seems like more of a next session kind of thing.
Depends on how far, or if we get the super jump tonight, or the space jump, then we could totally beat Metroid. And come on, more missiles. That's what this is what the randomizer is called. Zelda X Metroid, more missiles. How do we get across that?
Rather have missiles than heart pieces.
We need to go back. We can't go back. What the heck?
You can't grapple over there.
There's nothing to grapple onto. I bet we pushed this block. That's what it is. Okay. Because that block was out of place. Zelda puzzles. Okay.
Puzzles.
I dislike teleporter rooms because you can never...
So this is another thing where it's unfair difficulty because there's no way for you to know.
Yeah, although I just made a mistake. I need to go back because there's a bomb on the wall back there. And I think it may lead to some treasures, so we need to make sure we get back there. Come on.
Zelda puzzles are the reason why so many adults have OCD.
Leading cause of OCD.
And you can't go back.
I need to go back. I'm sure that I can go back. They wouldn't make it so I couldn't go back. Well, this room's completely different. Really? I really can't go back. Alright, well. Hopefully it's not treasure. Okay, remember that was there in case we end up in a situation where we still can't find the space jump or whatever. Let's go up first, I guess. There's the box. Did we not get the key? That was the last dungeon, that wasn't it? Ah! Alright, we'll go right. We got a key for it. A couple treasures. Always happy to see those.
Well, now you can go back to that one area.
Yep. So not a big deal that we ended up doing this. Alright, so we need to use the staff. This dungeon's huge, by the way, so it's very possible I'll be lost in here for the next 20 minutes. And we don't have a key there, so we'll go back there later. I think that might be what the puzzle is in this section, is basically finding all the keys you need in order to cross. That leads upstairs. Technically, you're supposed to have all of the items by this point in the game anyway, so... and there isn't anything that we're missing that is critical, so... This dungeon is really just a matter of navigation. Come on. Okay. And what we need to do, I think we need to push this switch and then come back. Maybe. Alright, let's use a bomb here. I can also use the staff if you don't want to use bombs. Alright, so let's just make sure we bomb that wall this time, and then we can more freely explore that other room. So yeah, A Link to the Past has a lot of these have to repeat the same level architecture sections if you happen to go the wrong direction. Okay, we're gonna go left. And that should lead us to the bot wall. Yep. Are you guys thinking about calling it? You guys are going really quiet. Whoops.
Sorry, this whole stream, so I have like a pinched nerve in my arm or something, and no matter what I do when I'm sitting in this chair, I cannot get the pain to go away. So right now I'm standing up, just like moving in various directions.
You got the magic boomerang.
Remember when I said that this dungeon has a whole bunch of treasure chests and there's no way we're not going to have the space jump before we go through this? Apparently you're having a stroke. This is Salmace's diagnosis.
Okay.
I actually get nerve pains all the time. It's one of the reasons why I worked out.
I've been sitting way too much, and I started getting like the sciatic nerve is like gets pinched when I stand up and sit down.
Yeah, I haven't had that. This is just specifically from some night I slept on my arm or my neck wrong.
You guys,
2 days ago.
I didn't stock on my potions before I came in here. Whoops.
Well, you did. You drank them all.
Well, I don't think I need mana for the boss, so... In fact, I know what the boss is, so we don't need mana for that. So I need to start catching fairies, it's essentially...
You got the net now, at least.
Yeah, we do. We're actually, we're really decked out at this point. We're not starving anymore like we were initially. Alright, so if you light this torch, then you can see... I think that's the boss door because it has the Triforces on it. You can see the pathway if you light the torch.
You know, while watching the stream, it's not a bad idea to stand up and do exercises.
I agree.
So the way I have my mic set up, I kind of like have to lodge myself into the like area where it's at.
Come here.
I have a push to talk on my keyboard, but otherwise I have a really long cord on my headset so I can walk across my room with it still on. Not moving my mic.
Alright, we're in a save state so I don't go down the wrong hole, if that's even possible. Come here. I'm gonna catch you and put you in a jar. I'm gonna take all my mana and it's gonna make me sad. Because I drink all my mana potions. Alright, I gotta make this one count. You broke the pattern. Oh, and I ate it, dang it. Why did you fly straight into my mouth? It's like driving on a motorcycle with your mouth open. What is that? Is that the space jump? I think that was a space jump.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
That looked.
Oh gosh! All right, we are on our way. I'm saving state, by the way, because I said I was going to anyway. All right, cool. We're done with this randomizer. It's just a matter of going through the motions at this point. Oh, how many weeks has it been?
Every week.
Every week, pretty much.
How many of these have we done so far?
This is 18, I think, of the official streams. I haven't really posted the game nights. Yeah.
It's 18, though we didn't do the randomizer every night.
So we're almost up to 6 months now.
Wow. We need to have an anniversary party.
Yeah. We should play a new randomizer.
Perfect.
Really? A room full of 3 missiles.
You don't need anything else anymore. You got the space jump.
Ah,
What
we're
else
done,
could you have
guys.
gotten that would have been useful.
Gosh, we have 20 minutes left. We could totally do this.
And have you gotten the speed booster yet?
No, but I know where it is, so... Alright, we'll just fill up 3 jars with fairies. Come here.
Do we even need the speed booster?
Yes, you do, in order to beat the game.
Uh,
Well, no, actually we don't. Although we still need to get the charge beam before I fight Ridley, I think. Would be helpful.
what happens when you release a fairy?
You do have a lot of missiles.
We do have a lot of missiles, you're correct. Although
So
Ridley actually takes more damage from the plasma beam than he does from missiles.
So when you release a fairy, it just like cancels you catching it.
He takes more damage from super missiles, but regular missiles, you're better off just charging your plasma beam. And we still don't have the big key? Or did we get the big key?
Don't think you got it.
So I think this dungeon might have... It's possible for the big key to end up inside the big chest because you don't need the big key to complete the dungeon, I think. I remember hearing about that in the logic.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like it can end up that way. So there's a room to the right that we can get. So let's do that real quick. I'm like really tempted to leave and just go to Super Metroid at this point, just because we've had enough Zelda tonight. In fact, I'm going to. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's
You
been
don't wanna
like
do this,
80-20 Zelda to Metroid, I feel like, a lot of the time.
Now that we have the space jump, I want to go do Metroid, so let's do that instead. Plus, then I can get rid of all these worthless fairies and fill it up with blue potions instead. Because fairies don't heal you completely, so...
It's like 7 hearts, I think.
What did I miss? Salmis? He's screaming at us not to go to Super Metroid yet. Alright, let's go get the speed booster. And to get the speed booster, we need to go to the swamp. And now that we have the space jump, I never have to bomb jump again for this stream. I cannot tell you how elated I am that we have the space jump finally. Oh. think that covers everything we need in Super Metroid. Like, once we get the speed booster, I think we can go anywhere. And if we needed that, we now have that.
Yeah, what are you missing? Like the wave beam, the charge beam. I guess you can just look at the menu and then see.
Yeah, there's one spot where you need the wave beam, but I'm not sure it's gaining anything that we need. Oh yeah, this still has old space jump physics. Darn it.
You still have to like actually
time
it.
it. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Alright, we gotta circle around and go this way. Technically, it probably would have been faster if I went a different direction, but whatever. This is the part where you have fun after you get the space jump.
What are the most satisfying moments in Metroidvania? Like, not in general, like a specific example.
Like, just specific examples of the most satisfying moments?
Like when
Yeah,
you
like,
get...
I don't mean the most satisfying moment being, like, getting the big upgrade. I mean, like, specific upgrade or something.
Like in Zero Mission when you get your suit back.
Oh yeah, well that's like a hyper beam moment in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's asking for what are the hyper beam moments.
Right.
I mean, doesn't have to be getting upgrades, just any satisfying moment. Those tend to be upgrade oriented in Metroidvania.
Maybe getting to the top of the tree in Ori.
Which tree?
The one that you did right at the end of the stream.
Oh,
So for no
that wasn't
particular reason,
satisfying.
this game programmed it so this statue does not work unless you have the space jump.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why it's programmed that way, but they left it that way for the randomizer. So even though I could have technically gotten over here using shenanigans, it does not work.
Weird. One of the places where they actually hard-coded in a requirement.
A gate, yeah.
Just the fact that they did that means that does mean that they're aware of like the opportunities the sequence break.
No, 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 no! Ah! Wait a minute. Can we get to that from the bottom now, or I'm confused?
Weren't those just folly blocks?
Yeah, but you get those are one-way folly blocks.
What the?
You did it again.
I should have save stated before I went in there. There's no way we can get through it except for this
all
now.
the way around again.
How far around is it?
It's literally doing exactly what he did.
Exactly
Came
the
in
same route.
Whole route.
Wow.
So I think I'm not sure how that works out in the actual game. I think you fall down there and then the Chozo fights you and then you get the item from the Chozo. I might be wrong on that. So
That does sound familiar.
I think in the base game that was not an issue. But it's an issue in the randomizer, obviously. These yellow guys, I don't think you can kill them without the charge shot, I think.
Maybe it's the screw attack that you need.
Maybe. I hit him with a screw attack and didn't kill him instantly. Alright, I'm going to save state before I do this again, just to make sure I don't screw it up this time.
That was a satisfying hop of space jumps that you did.
Sometimes I can show off on this game. I don't consider myself like an expert or anything, but I think that I'm probably above, well, at least the casual player level. At this point. Okay. That's what I should have done. All right, guys, we are now empowered. Let's start collecting things from Super Metroid, although we're probably going to quit the stream soon. About 9 more minutes here. What do you guys think? What are some topics that we haven't gone over yet that you guys want to cover?
What's the best upgrade in Castlevania?
What's the best upgrade in Castlevania? Well, that's something we could cover right now, so let's go ahead and do that. Best upgrade in Castlevania is the Mist form. When you can move.
Isn't that just for getting through those specific gates, at least in Symphony of the Night?
No, it can totally be used to... I guess the screw attack is what kills these things. Huh.
It lets you fly too.
Yeah, you can fly and it makes you invincible, so it's actually one of the best strategies to use on Galamoth when you don't have things like the Chrysogram or the shield rod. I think it's better just to use missiles on these guys, yeah.
Or the screw attack.
I don't know why I always forget that that's an attack. Frankly, it's kind of embarrassing how little I use the screw attack as an actual attack. Metroid 2 kind of taught me that it's more of a defensive move than it is a attack move.
I like it better as a defensive move.
Yeah.
I don't like it just shredding through things.
So the other day we were talking about what the nice villains that Castlevania has, like in general, or oh, I guess this is a one-way passage back this way, so this was a waste of time.
Best upgrade is the one that lets you see enemy name.
Salme says the best upgrade is the Magnet Aura. Oh,
From Ecclesia.
Ecclesia. Have you played Ecclesia yet, Master?
No, I still haven't finished Portrait of Ruin.
Oh, well, just at this point you should just quit and play Ecclesia at this point, because obviously you don't like Portrait of Ruin. I don't think you're going to change your mind.
I mean, I should still probably finish it. I did say I was going to play through the Castlevania games in order to prove the haters wrong.
That you hate it anyway, or
maybe to prove the haters right. The haters are me.
Kind of like when I played through La Milana too.
Is there any Castlevania that's convinced you that this is like on par with the other Metroidvania games you played?
I mean, I'd already played some of Aria before, and I liked it. And I mean, I actually played through it and I was like, well, that was a good game. Never hated all Castlevania games.
Yeah, I think Aria is the one that people generally consider to be the best.
That's definitely my favorite.
I'd even replay Aria. I can't say. Actually, I'd even replay Circle of the Moon. But that's not an indication of the game being good.
Did you play through it with the card mod?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play through it with the card mod.
Yeah, next time I play it, I'll probably play with some kind of mod. I played it on the Wii U, which would be the base version when I reviewed it, which is what I should be reviewing. Like, unless I specifically say I'm playing it with this mod or whatever. Now that we have the speed booster, now I have to find all the places we need the speed booster. I think this is one of them. Yeah.
That I like Ecclesia based off of people telling me that I'd like it.
I don't know. I'm on the fence I'm always on the fence with whether or not you like things, but I don't know if you will or not. Okay, so that's getting a missile, so that's not a big deal. Really what we're looking for is a charge shot, otherwise I would just go straight to Ridley at this time. So there's this whole section, this blue section on the left over here that we can now access. And I think there might be a couple more things in here. And then there's a bunch of places in Brinstar that you need the speed booster to get to.
Would it be a good time to call the stream about now?
Yeah, I think so. This is actually a very good time, I think. Right here. This is a good place. This is where we'll leave off, and we have this whole chunk here, and we can start off with Metroid next time. So, and I'll probably study the map and figure out where all we need to go, so I don't get lost next time we do the randomizer. So, thank you very much for watching, and if you have any requests or ideas for topics of discussion, we'll be happy to entertain those ideas. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Goodbye.